We're pleased to have with us again the host of the third most listened to radio talk show in America, Michael Savage. He's written another book. It's his first novel, and it's called simply Abuse of Power. Congratulations, Michael, and welcome again to Newsmax.
Hey, you know I love Newsmax. I've been with you guys from the beginning, and thanks for having me.
You've written 4 New York Times best-selling political books. What motivated you to write a thriller novel?
Well, it's based upon my being banned in Britain. I'm the only member of the American media not allowed to enter Britain. They put me on a list with murderers, terrorists, killers, which was astonishing. I'm still on that list. Can't get off the list no matter how I've tried. We've spent $400,000. Legal fees won't work. So I thought that if I fictionalized the story of a media figure who was smeared by a left-wing smear machine and then banned from the American media, banned from Britain, and then turned it into a thriller, it would become a movie and maybe people would pay attention to the abuse of power that actually goes on at the highest levels of government.
The hero in the book is Jack Hatfield. Tell us a little bit about him. Is he at all like Michael Savage?
Oh, that's a good one. Well, I will say this, that his dog's name is Eddie, and he's a 10-pound poodle, and my dog's name is Teddy, who's a 10-pound poodle. Now, other than that, there is no resemblance to reality, other than the fact that I take him to restaurants in San Francisco where I enjoy eating, or he walks the streets of San Francisco, and Jack describes the beauty of the San Francisco Bay and what he sees. Jack and I are very dissimilar. Jack is a man in his 40s. Jack is a former war correspondent. I am not. So he's purely a fictional character. However, he does live aboard a boat that's very, very similar to one that I own, because I use the bay and boats and things of that nature to set the backdrop for this exciting thriller.
Are there any real Jack Hatfields in the media today?
Oh, wow, what a loaded question. I wish I knew one. Yes, Chris Ruddy of Newsmax. I do wish there was a real digger after the truth. In fact, the show that Jack lost after getting banned in Britain is called Truth Tellers. That was the name of his TV show that he's no longer a host of because he told too much truth. I believe there are people trying their best to get to the bottom of things. But look at the 2 stories that are hanging out there pregnant that almost everyone's forgotten, that I fictionalized in this book. A, my being banned in Britain. B, you remember last year there was a guy in Washington, a highly placed Defense Department official in cybersecurity, who helped build the Vietnam Veterans Memorial, who was found wandering drunk on videotape and then found his body found in a dumpster in Delaware. Remember that story? Nobody ever followed that up. I went into that story, and it's in this book, Abuse of Power.
All right, look, I'll ask you about the presidential campaign. First, do you think Obama will be a one-term president?
No. I think that the opposition is underestimating his machine. I think his machine is very deadly. Witness what Hoffa just said. Notice there's been an orchestrated campaign against the Tea Party. The Tea Party is the American middle class. As I've said on my show many times, do you know anyone on welfare in a Tea Party? I don't. The Tea Party are taxpayers, middle class people. Who declared war on them? The Congressional Black Caucus started it 2 weeks ago, and now Jimmy Hoffa Jr. says they want war, take them out. This is coming from the highest corridors of power. It's coming from Axelrod, in my opinion. I think they're trying to stir up insurrection in this country. They want civil discord. They want a riot or riots because, as Rahm Emanuel famously said, we've never seen a crisis that we haven't been able to utilize, okay? They're not to be counted out yet, in my opinion.
You expect the race card to be played in the campaign?
They've been using it for a month and a half now. Every other word out of Maxine Waters' mouth or one of the other members of the Congressional Black Caucus is that the white people are racists, the people in the Tea Party are basically racists and Nazis. This is crazy rhetoric coming out of a party. I've never seen anything like it. And for Jimmy Hoffa Jr. to say, take them out, this is a declaration of war.
David Horowitz tells Newsmax Obama is the most dangerous president of modern times. Now, your book is entitled Abuse of Power. Could that possibly apply to Obama?
Well, I believe he's abused his power in many different ways. He came to power on the platform of being an anti-war president, and he engaged us in an escalation in Afghanistan. Pardon me, he engaged us in a war in Libya, and now, as I've been screaming on my show for months, what do you mean rebels? The rebels are Al-Qaeda. Who's in charge of this government? And why do they seem to be stirring up this revolution in the Arab world when those taking power are all anti-American. Does that make sense to you?
And turning to the GOP field currently, which of the Republican presidential candidates impresses you the most and why?
Only Perry. And the reason is that I'll get 60 to 70% out of my conservative principles from Perry. I'll get 30 to 40% out of Romney, and I'll get less than that out of the others. That does not mean that Kaine is not a great guy. He is. He's not electable. Can't win. Look, Ron Paul is a terrific guy, great ideas, can't win. So therefore I go with who can win. Who can win? It's Perry, Perry, Perry. There's another reason. On my boat, which features prominently an abuse of power, I can't help but showing you the book cover, it's so beautiful. There is a plaque on my boat from Governor Perry, which makes me an admiral in the Texas Navy. I'm very proud of that plaque.
And one last question, Michael, about your home state of California. After the last election, Michael Reagan told us he was disgusted with the efforts of California Republicans on behalf of Carly Fiorina. Of course, the ultra-liberal Barbara Boxer was reelected to the Senate. Does a Republican have any chance of winning anything in California ever?
What a great question. Short of a demographic change, I would say the prognosis is quite poor. The reason Carly Fiorina lost is not because the Republicans didn't support her. It's because she did not support core conservative values. She ran it to the center, and she did not excite the base. It's the lesson Republicans refuse to learn.
Again, the name of his latest book, Abuse of Power. Michael Savage, congratulations and thank you. Good luck.
Thank you very much for having me on Newsmax.
And thank you for watching Newsmax TV.